Cinema is bunk. You know, you have all these movies that are supposed to be good, the best even, and they're just organized there because of how they fit into narrow categories. Things like cinematography and editing and plot. Well, I'm here to tell you about a new system, a new categorization that I think will be actually fair to movies, be able to, reward those that deserve it. And it consists of 5 categories, specific categories. The first is clowns. The second is alcoholism. The third is Tom Kenny. The fourth is children screaming, or rather screaming at children. It could go either way. And the fifth is Adam Sandler twinkery. Now you might be thinking, these categories are so rigid and require such artistry. There cannot be a single movie that fulfills all of these qualities to the brim. I'm here to proselytize the best movie ever made. Look how I'm dressed, you already know what movie I'm talking about. It's an underrated gem. It belongs in the Criterion Collection, a #1 spot. You know what I'm talking about. Let's watch Shakes the Clown.
Shakes the Clown.
Now you might be wondering, what is Shakes the Clown? Please tell me about this miraculous, godlike experience you have, and don't worry, I will. Now, Shakes the Clown was made in 1992, and it's a very, 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 very interesting movie. It's very entertaining as well, which is why we want to talk about it now. It is about Shakes, the clown. Party clown specifically, that's important that he's a party clown. He juggles, he pulls out handkerchiefs, he makes balloon animals, all that stuff. And he's actually pretty good. In fact, he's something of a party clown prodigy. Despite his immense talent in the clowning arts, he's also an alcoholic, which is kind of the plot. All these other plots, all these stupid lesser movies, you have to explain the plot because this person does this, which then leads to this, and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, Shakes has got it down. He's an alcoholic clown. That is the entire plot, and it's terrific. We need more brevity these days. The very introduction that we get to Shakes is pretty good. It characterizes him well. He's drunk, he's cheating, and also he gets pissed on, which is very important. You would never guess it from the alcoholism, but he's kind of a glutton, and he spends a lot of his time in bars and, not being loyal to his girlfriend and not being there for her, and pretty much just neglecting his destiny as a party clown supreme leader. He works for a rent-a-clown sort of association, right? Under Mr. Cheese, which is an important character for later on. Despite his immense talent at the art, he keeps, missing appointments or being late because of his alcoholism, which is, the plot. Now, we're all here for Shakes. He's who we care about, but what is a crazy clown without his posse? And he has a pretty sizable one, relative to me. There is Judy, his girlfriend. She is currently a waiter, but she wants to be a bowler. She has the talent and skill, she just needs the opportunity. There is Lucy, who is a waiter as well, and I think they're trying to imply that she's a lesbian and loves Judy.
I think he likes you.
Yeah, he's nice, but, he's a man.
But she actually doesn't get killed for a movie of 1992. That's pretty good, But then there's the main 2 clowns that are his bros, There's Stinchy, a drag-themed clown, and then there's Dink, who is just a normal-looking clown. They're all party clowns. They all hang out at the same bar. They talk. Most of the movie is just the, interplay between those 3. And Dink is actually played by Adam Sandler. It's hard to tell underneath the makeup, but, that's him. I don't know, it's just kind of strange to see him playing like a minor role. I don't think I've ever seen that before, except in Jesse.
Yeah, that's Kevin James' feet you're tasting.
One cannot have friends without a few enemies, the first of which is Mr. Cheese.
You're fired!
I'm fired! I'll kill you, you mother!
Mr. Cheese isn't malicious or necessarily even mean to Shakes, but he is an antagonistic force. He keeps trying to, threaten Shakes into cleaning up his act, getting, off alcohol, so that, he's not late and he doesn't miss appointments and, he gets the family their money worth or whatever. Then there's also the cops, one of which is Boar and the other one, I believe, is Crony. I don't really know why they're in this movie other than to make, like, pastrami jokes. They make a lot of jokes regarding pastrami.
What is that you got over there? What's that, pastrami?
Yeah.
You think that's a good idea? You think that's wise, pastrami?
Then there is Jerry. Now, Jerry is a mime. I swear, I am not making it up. He's a mime. And you know what they say about party clowns and mimes. They don't mix well. Don't ever bring them in the same room together. Unfortunately, they do go in the same room together. Jerry's actually played by Robin Williams, which is another bit of a strange thing to see. Not that I mind, of course. But now let's get on to the real villain, and that is Binky.
A big plate of beef. White, powdery beef.
Now, Binky is like a rival clown and also like a hard drug addict. I think they just dislike each other. I think they're just mean to each other. But he does play a bigger role later on in like the last 30 minutes of the movie, which is when the inciting incident actually happens. He's played by Tom Kenny, who does. Let's just say he gets full points on the Tom Kenny scale. Speaking of the scale, let's get back to the scale. Look at this movie. Look at how good it is. Okay, first category, clowns. Obviously, that's a 10 out of 10. Alcoholism. Do you know how many times Shakes throws up in this movie? Now, Tom Kenny.
I'm gonna be hearing from the union about that tomorrow.
This is a Tom Kenny movie. Let me tell you that.
You piss me off.
The fourth category, screaming at children. That's good. That happens a couple times. And then Adam Sandler twinkery. See, this is a special category. It's one that's very difficult to fill. One that I have seen filled only once or twice in my entire life, in the entire lifetime of Hollywood, right? This movie does it. This movie does it, I swear. And it's the most the twinkish that he's ever been. Let me just show you. Look at that. Look at that. That 10 out of 10, right? That's 10 out of 10 on the twinkery chart. It's gotta be. Now, you may be asking, I've mentioned the plot a couple of times, but what exactly is it? See, after a couple of little misadventures that Shakes and his buddies go on to try to get rid of his alcoholism or, make it up to Judy or whatever, something happens. Okay. Binky. Like I said, he's a hard drug addict, and he hangs around with rodeo clowns. I don't mean to be mean or anything, but you don't want to hang around with rodeo clowns, and they're his suppliers. See, he goes in the back room, and I forgot the TV show. The TV show is important. Okay, the TV show. There's a TV show. It features a prominent clown and seems to be essentially the paragon of clowns, so to speak. This show shows the epitome of clown arts, and the current host just got fired. Right now, they're intending on replacing him with Binky, who everybody hates because he's kind of a jerk and he does this. He just does that. He's weird. He's not a very funny clown, but he's weird. Regardless, he gets chosen for it for some reason or another. Now back to wherever I was before. Rodeo clowns. Okay, Binky goes into a back room with his goons and meets up with a pair of rodeo clowns that are going to be more important later. And they start doing cocaine, of course. But they get caught by Mr. Cheese. And, this could ruin Binky's reputation. He has the show to care about now. So he does what any of us would do, and he murders Mr. Cheese. This is just after Shakes came in with a big drunken bender about how he was going to kill Mr. Cheese for being unfair. and he's unconscious now. He was knocked out or something like that. So Binky decides the best thing to do, the best way to get away with this, is to just pin it all on Shakes, which he does pretty well, actually, considering he conveniently hit him over the head with a juggling pin with Shakes' name on it. So, and this is the inciting incident. I swear it's like an hour into the movie. But now Shakes is wanted for murder, and he has to clear his name. It's an adventure. You know, it picks up a more conventional movie stuff. It's honestly a little bit disappointing. Thankfully, though, you know, the plot and originality are not very high on the categories that we're talking about. Now, Shakes is a wanted man, and, you know, those two police officers I was talking about earlier are after him. And misadventures ensue. He gets chased by the two rodeo clowns off the road. His car blows up. You know, it's pretty standard Friday night for Shakes. But then he manages to get back to Judy, and Judy helps him out. She helps him out by... She disguises him as a mime, and I'm sorry, it's hard to see somebody like Shakes have to stoop that low. I'm sorry, it's just real. Can I have a minute? Sorry. So, after he's disguised as a mime and he meets up with Mime Jerry, and they have a couple of, you know, gags and jokes and what have you. What does happen after that? Oh yeah, Judy gets murdered.
Whoa, back up. Now I've got to kill you. Beautiful. Another red letter day for Binky the Clown. Just great. Just
So Binky approaches and gives a visit to sweet old Judy, and he accidentally reveals that he was a murderer. It's not a very strategic move, but it is a funny one, which I think is better off for a clown. She's fine. She's sent off to go do a Saw game, you know, Saw. And Shakes realizes this with the help of Stinchy and Dink. They realize that she's gone, and, you know, he has to go save her. They go bar to bar trying to figure out where she is, blah, 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 whatever. Eventually, they do find the random rodeo clowns again, and, you know, ram them off the road. They get covered in manure, and they interrogate them, whatever. I need to stop saying whatever. I'm kind of like puttering. Okay. They realize that Judy's being held captive at Binky's new show, and she's going to be, you know, killed in front of a bunch of children. Ergo, more child screaming. It's pretty good stuff, honestly. But the point is that she's going to be murdered. They manage to break in after beating up the two goon clowns, and thanks to his intense juggling skills, Shakes is able to protect Judy from a knife headed directly for her face, which was, again, going to be aired in front of children. After this, a fight ensues. They beat each other up quite a bit. The producers get involved, fighting for Binky, of course. And then it all ends with Judy proving once and for all that she is the greatest bowler in Blockyville? In their town. She lines up the shot and gives Tom Kenny a concussion. After this, it's wrapped up pretty succinctly. Binky gets arrested, of course. Judy ends up loving Shakes again. Shakes goes to Alcoholics Anonymous, which is strangely realistic and not, you know, good, I guess. And he gets the show, so long as he's not an alcoholic. And even in the end, he brings Mime Jerry on in a show of betrayal to party clowns. But it's sweet. Whatever. You know, and that's Shakes. That's Shakes the Clown, baby. That's Shakes the Clown. And that's all there is to Shakes the Clown. Well, no, there's also a couple of weird jokes.
I give you the pretzel. Open. Body of Binky. I'm in.
Weathermen get a lot of...
Weathermen don't get the kind of I got. I got that peanut butter.
What about my needs as a thirsty and horny clown?
A couple of weird jokes. There are a couple good jokes, but there's a lot of weird jokes, actually. A lot of weird jokes. I forgot that Shakes' alcoholism actually does save his life. He's shot by one of the goon clowns, and thankfully he has his flask on him, which completely just blocks the bullet. I don't know if that was like a trope at this point. It's 1992. I guess it probably was. But regardless, if he was an alcoholic, he'd be dead. That's all I'm saying.
Shakes, you're alive.
What the
Talking about a shot of whiskey, huh, fellas?
Now, I highly recommend Shakes the Clown. Obviously, it scores perfectly in our new important categories, which automatically makes the best movie ever made. But also, it's just entertaining, and it has this quality to it that I really enjoy. See, Shakes is Bobcat. That's the name of the actor. He has a last name. I don't remember what it is. His name's just Bobcat for some reason. I don't know anything about him. Regardless, he is both Shakes and he's also the director and I assume producer of the film. And it kind of just shines through how much of a passion project this was. It was just something that he really wanted to do, which is unfortunately just not something you see that much these days. You know, everything's very corporate. It's very difficult to make a movie without a ton of corporate backing. And, you know, it's perfectly formulated to get a certain, you know, percentage of you know, audience members. And it just feels so artificial. It's almost like an AI could have like written all of these movies. But Shakes is unique. Shakes has very little conventional appeal. It's about an alcoholic clown that kind of just goes around abusing a lot of people, which is awesome. It's not very popular with families. And speaking of families, there's a lot of profanity in this movie. Like, a lot of profanity in this movie. See, profanity is special when it comes to age guidelines. That's why you usually see either almost none or a ton of cursing. And it's because cursing plays a special role in studio approval. Age restriction, by its nature, is limited in its audience. An R-rated movie loses out on a lot of seats that could be occupied by children, families, and teenagers. It doesn't get any of those because it's rated R. For this reason, a lot of studios back out of R-rated movies unless they need to be rated R. You know, movies like Oppenheimer need to be rated R, you know. But Shakes the Clown did not need to be. You could have very easily, you know, gotten rid of all the curse words, and then everything else would have been fine, really. I don't think anything would have changed. That's the only MA-R elements there is. Just change up some of the language, get rid of a couple of the jokes, and you're golden for a TV PG-13 movie. But they didn't do that, and I respect that immensely, because they had a vision. Bobcat had a vision of a movie that he wanted to make, and he made Shakes the Clown. You know what I'm saying? It's just so obvious that he cared about this, and a lot of people cared about it. You know, the acting's fine, you know, the cinematography is workable. It's all decent. Nothing was phoned in by any means. It's all, you know, serviceable. But then there's just that charm, that Shakes panache that it's got. For all of those reasons, I rate Shakes the Clown 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, Godfather's 1 out of 10. There's not even Adam Sandler in Godfather, and people go on and on about how it's the greatest movie ever made. It's not, obviously. There's not even a twink. Well, there might be a twink. I've not actually watched Godfather, but don't tell anyone. But no, that's the best movie. Notorious is the best movie ever made. That movie sucks even by the original standards. No Adam Sandler, no Tom Kenny. I think he might scream at a kid. I don't remember in Notorious. But there's not even a clown in it. There is alcoholism, because it was made in like 50s, 60s era. Everybody was an alcoholic. I mean, like, everybody was an alcoholic until like the 80s. You know what I mean? This video is a little bit shorter than I thought it would be, actually. I mean, I don't know what I was really expecting with Shakes the Clown, you know. This video is probably going to be as long as the actual plot is in that movie. But, I hope you enjoyed it still. You know, I'm trying to, you know, work out stuff with video, whatever. You know, I'm doing more makeup, I'm putting more effort. You know, I did have a video a while ago that I had a lot of corrupted footage, which is why I didn't get out, blah, 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 whatever. My point is, I'm encouraged by success, and I measure success very shallowly. So, you know, a nice comment or a like or something like that might go a long way, a subscription especially. So, please give those all a consideration. Otherwise, I'm going to be back sometime soon, I'm sure. It's like a draw to me, like the ocean. I don't know. What do you want from me? Videos, I assume. Assuming you subscribe. And you'll get them if you subscribe. Please subscribe.